Hi all, Katerina here. Today we are talking about a specific role, Klaviyo Account Manager, probably the one that we hired the most in the last couple of years. So if you're hiring a Klaviyo Account Manager for your D2C brand or your e-commerce email marketing agency, this is for you. We've placed more than 10 people in this exact role in the last 3 months. I've personally vetted also over 200 plus people for this role in the last 2 years. I'm going to say this super clear because in most cases, it's not really that you don't have a specific system in place or a talent pool problem. It's usually a mix of different things, and you need to be aware because it's a lot more than just one thing. So first, let's start with fixing the biggest misunderstanding there. The role isn't about building flows only. So in case you are hiring your first Klaviyo account manager, this will probably be your number one mistake that you will make. So just hear me out. You have to focus on their ownership around email revenues, also client outcomes. People often miss one or the other. And that's the key problem when they underperform, let's say after a month or 2 months. So if you're hiring based on certification, if they were Klaviyo certified or have active campaigns in their profile on LinkedIn, or some screenshots from Klaviyo revenue, which I noticed are often copy pasted from other agencies that are sharing their materials and everything openly on YouTube, you are already hiring blindly. So going back to the basics, email is a revenue channel, and it's not a task list or a checklist or something that you can just figure out as you go. Same with hiring for this role. So the exact process that we are always using when we are filtering for this role, and it's basically why we had so much success with it in the last couple of months. First, start with real account walkthrough or audit. So no need for screenshots, demo accounts, or some questions about how do you audit your first account when you're just starting out in Klaviyo, if you are looking for someone who actually understands the whole process around email revenue. How we do it is we ask them directly to walk us through a real Klaviyo account. They don't need to share any names or specific numbers, but they need to own it. So if they know what they're talking about, you will see it in the first glance. So it should be just enough to see if it's a bullshit story, if they made it up, ChatGPT did it previously, used someone else's dashboard, or they actually owned that exact account. So what we want to hear is why a specific flow exists and why it works or worked for a specific client. Why some segment was built. Was it to revive an email list that was called for 2 years, or to have a specific goal around the segmentation? Why this specific campaign cadence was chosen instead of something else? So if they cannot explain why things are built like they are built, they didn't build it. Someone else built it. They probably just checked on it, built some reporting around it, maybe some smaller audit, and that's it. That's not the thing that you're looking for. Second step, revenue ownership test. So again, going to the numbers and money, because that's what it is all about for your clients as well. We ask them one specific question: what percentage of total store revenue did the email generate? So again, a specific example, no need for names, personal details, or screenshots, just what matters. So for me, it doesn't matter if they can tell me what's open rate, what's flow count, whatever it is, but if they can speak about revenue, the exact emails generated for this client, and if they understand why it worked. Is it copy? Is it because they did countless A/B testing? Was it because it was seasonality, like Black Friday or Cyber Monday? They need to understand what happened there and what brought success so they can actually copy and paste that to each and every brand. Account managers who actually own revenue and know their numbers, know what to look for, those are the ones that will move the needle for you as well. Next step, metrics that actually matter. So you need to see what they're tracking. So if they're tracking only open rates, it doesn't tell you the full story, and you need to dive deeper. So someone who is a senior level candidate will share things like revenue per subscriber, deliverability trends, list health over time, how they tested something that no one else did or thought about it beforehand and how they actually implemented that to other brands, it made great results for them. Someone is obsessed with open rates or click-through rates only. That's, again, not a fit because it's only execution. It's not strategy. It's not client focused. It's just execution part, and that's it. The final step, scenario-based problem solving. You have to have a prepared, simple scenario where you, for example, have a campaign that didn't work well in the beginning for one client, but then eventually you figured it out, found out what's not working, fixed it, and then completely different story in the next 3 to 6 months. So what we did here is to actually back it up with real campaigns and scenarios so we can ask them and really to see how they think and how they operate on daily basis and how much in depth they're going when they're working on different campaigns. And what we noticed during interviews, most candidates will panic. Maybe they will be a bit nervous or not sure what to share. So they jump to tactics, they jump to something specific, but the good ones will actually slow down, think about what you're asking, and actually share an example that will make sense for your question. They go more into systematic mode rather than just scraping the surface. And that's the difference between real operators and strategy thinkers compared with button pushers or however you want to call them. And finally, a really important thing to note here is cross-team collaboration. What we noticed in the e-commerce, especially in the email marketing space with Klaviyo Account Managers and other roles, cross-team collaboration is really important. If you want success for your clients, you have to have a successful remote asynchronous team. That's a completely different story, and that's a topic probably for another time because it takes a lot of in-depth thinking so you can actually make it right. So email in general doesn't live in isolation. It lives and dies by not just organic, but also paid traffic, quality in general, copy that actually resonate. Because if you don't have a solid offer, then what's the point of the whole email marketing, right? And then going back to Klaviyo Account Manager, if someone talks like a lone wolf, they will 100% fail fast, whether it's working with the brand or working as a part of an agency, because they need to collaborate. They have to push back. They have to think outside of the box. They have to figure things out on their own. They need to align teams. They have to dedicate tasks to each and every person on the team. So yes, isolation kills retention on the long run. Why this is super important? Because most brands and agency owners don't vet for ownership. They vet for activity, they vet for execution, but not really for the strategy and client communication. And that's probably why your emails underperform and then again client churn on the long run. So if you found this valuable, feel free to use the process, outsource it, but just please stop guessing the game and how to hire. You need to sit down and prepare for it. Next time, I'll be talking about key skills that we often see are missing in this and also similar roles to keep an eye out when you're hiring in case you want to make your team a successful one from day one. The skills will be around client communication, but also ownership and accountability. That's not something that is often seen in remote spaces. And again, you need to pay attention to. And yeah, thanks for listening. Stay tuned and take care and see you next time.